And if you're accused of being a terrorist, then you have no right to a phone call. You have no right to an attorney. You have no right to be told why you're being held. Your relatives can go to the police station. They can go to the morgue. They can call the hospitals. They can call the jails, and they'll never be told anything because you've been accused of being a terrorist. Well, what defines terrorists, and who gets to decide? In other words, because the people let that by, see, because you let it get past you on what you considered terrorists from some other country who really weren't terrorists. They were just trying to fight to keep out a foreign bank. That's really what it boiled down to. But at the same time, these individuals utilize the blood feud between people to also play on that. So if people don't start stopping things when they stop them, they open the door for this kind of nonsense. So if they can be, and over there they were horrendously treated. These people would do things to these Iraqi prisoners in Guantanamo Bay and this was United States personnel. They would take things like poles, dip them in battery acid, and shove them up people's rectums and stuff. Is that the kind of example that should be being set by what is supposed to have been considered the most civilized place on the planet? The fact that no one had anything, now maybe, to me it's an amazement that it didn't get out in the news, but again, who's controlling the news? That kind of information is out there, but you kind of had to find it on the Internet. Now, these people that control the news, they're shutting down the Internet with a vengeance. They're going after the Internet very, very quickly. And I wonder if I can find it, because there's something that you guys need to know. And I'm going to say this again, too, is a part of the fraud that has taken place. Now, let me just see if I can find this, because I took some little notes on it. And I don't know how many people even know. George Bush even, the George Bush family even says that they're what you guys call Jews. They even admit to that they are what you guys call Jews. Again, these people that are called Jews are getting framed big time out here. Now, let me just see here if I can find this, because you guys really need to hear this, because you want to know. I hope this is it. No, I don't think this is it, but this might be.
Yaffa?
Yeah, this is it. What? I'm sorry. Yes.
I'm sorry. I just want to take the time out to let the callers know. If you have your hand up in the call queue, can you please wait to the end half of the show so we can answer your questions? Because a lot of people are, calling in and then they hanging up. So I just want everybody to know that I'm aware of your hand going up. Just be patient, and we'll get to your answers later on.
Okay. I didn't mean to bark at you. I'm sorry. But, I've gotten so accustomed on this show of getting derailed on a regular basis. I've gone back and listened to the first shows, and it's like, geez, how many times do I get cut off, derailed, or have people call in and ask questions that have nothing whatsoever to do with what in the blazes I'm talking about? And it's like, are these people agents out here or what? Anyhow, there's something that you guys need to become aware of. And I mean everybody needs to become aware of it, because this is the type of thing that I'm talking about, how people do things and blame them on other people. There's something called the no. Well, you guys all know about the Anti-Defamation League, but that's not what I was going to give you. Hold that thought. Actually, take a call, and hopefully this is not somebody who's going to derail me and take me somewhere else. Take a call, and while I pull this up real quickly. Okay, forget it.
Well, right now, a lot of callers put their hands down, but if anybody's in the call queue now, this is the time to raise your hand, and I'll get your call in.
Okay.
For right now, do you want to go to a break?
No, I don't want to go to any kind of break.
All right, so I'll go back.
Here it is. I think this is it here. I'm pretty sure this is it. Yep, this is it. There is something called the Global Anti-Semitism Review Act. This just shows what I'm talking about, how people do things in other people's names, on some whole other agenda. Now, this came out in 2004, the Global Anti-Semitism Review Act. And you guys better listen up and listen well to this. George Bush, on October 16th of 2004, signed an act into law that basically, and I don't know how in the world you can be in the United States of America, which is one jurisdiction, and create a global act for the whole planet to live by. But this particular act, if anybody violates this act, this will allow the state of Israel to extradite you or anybody else from anywhere in the world to there for crime, for charges for crime. And these are the things that you can be brought up on charges for, where you don't have to be deported. They're supposed to have the power to extradite you from anywhere in the world because of this thing that George Bush Jr. signed. And it says, 1, any assertion that the Jewish community controls government, the media, international business, and the financial world is one of the things that they consider a crime. Expressing any type of strong anti-Israel sentiment is a crime. Expressing virulent criticism of Israel's leaders, whether they were past leaders or present leaders, the State Department has even as so far as doing a comic in a newspaper or anywhere else, a cartoon strip of any of these individuals is a crime. Any criticism of the Jewish religion or its religious leaders or the literature, especially the Talmud or Torah, is a crime. Any criticism of the United States government and Congress for being under undue influence of the Jewish Zionist community is a crime. Any criticism of the Jewish Zionist community for promoting globalism, or what people call the New World Order, is a crime. Placing any blame on Jewish leaders or their followers for inciting the Roman crucifixion of Christ is a crime. Citing any facts that could in any way diminish the fact that 6 million people that were of Jewish descent died in the Holocaust, or saying that that didn't happen, it never happened, the number ain't right, or whatever, is a crime. Claiming that Israel is a racist state is a crime. Making any claim that there exists a Zionist conspiracy is a crime. Offering any proof that Jews and their leaders created communism and the Bolshevik revolution in Russia is a crime. Making derogatory statements about any Jewish persons is a crime. Asserting that spiritually disobedient Jews do not have the biblical right to reoccupy Palestine is a crime, and making any allegation whatsoever of Mossad involvement in the 9/11 attack is a crime that is supposed to get you extradited from whatever country you're in, anywhere in the world, to the state of Israel for punishment. Now, I'm submitting to you that I don't even think half the people that they're calling Jews are even aware of this, because, again, I don't even think they're behind this. I'm telling you that I think it is Neanderthal-headed, mafia-backed, and the Jews are being blamed for it, and some of them are, what's the word, the ones that do get involved are probably misled about who's who and what's what and what's going on. So everybody's being set up. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody's being set up. Now, what was it you wanted to ask me before I finished reading that? Because I had to give you guys that because I'm sure people didn't know. Okay, then we'll move right along. Now, there are, when we were talking about the vendetta and the feud and the mafia, there's a term called Weirgild, W-E-R-G-I-L-D. And I'm sure that most people around the world don't know anything about this, but it means a man's price. And it is one of the most striking instances of composition when I was saying that you have, in order to get rid of these criminal elements, they can only rise like this when the government decays through corruption, which is kind of what's happening to us now. This is what's going on. There's a massive criminal element that has gotten involved. And there are people that look like me, that look like what you call white people, that look like what you call Jews, that would look like what you call Arabs, all kind of people that are like, wait a minute, hold up, this is not acceptable, this is not cool. But because this element has gotten such a high position inside of this stuff, they can make sure that certain things are not investigated. Think back to the mafia days. For those of you that remember, you know, the police departments were paid off, the judges were paid off, and if they didn't want to take the money, they were killed off. That's what's going on in Congress. The people in the United States government, most of these governments, people that disagree are killed off. If you're not paid off, then you're killed off. So we have a government that is no longer, if it ever was, now it was never a government of my people, for my people, but it was a government of European people for European people. The only thing it was supposed to do for my people was if there was ever any conflict between our people and the recent pilgrims, foreigners, invaders, whatever, it was supposed to be resolved at the federal level. But they used racism and color to try to keep that even from happening. But this government that was set up for the people that are calling themselves white by the people that were calling themselves white with assistance and instruction from people that were melanin rich who were then called Indians and Americans or American Indians who are now called African Americans, and some of whom are still Indians on the reservations. I don't know how many are left. But because they dropped the ball tripping on skin color and race, we're all in trouble now. But that was the whole game. Just like the brothers in the melanin-rich communities dropped the ball and stopped protecting the communities and started terrorizing the communities, pushing drugs for these people, getting weapons from these people, and killing off our own people and warriors for these people, maybe not knowing it was for these people, but that's what happened. That's what the Klan was doing. Instead of protecting the Republic, they were trying to destroy the Republic. A lot of people across the racial divide, across the religious divide, have become agents for the enemy without knowing it because everybody's been misled about who's doing what. And there are people being blamed for doing things that they're not doing, that they don't have a damn thing to do with. But, again, these people have infiltrated everybody's stuff. Now, there are a couple of other words. Now, I don't want to stop and ask, but I'm going to ask, and I'm going to hope like bloody blazes that people don't ask me something that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. Is there anybody that has a question that's topic related? I take that as a no. Since all the hands were going up and they went back down, I guess they're not going back up. Now.
Yeah, we don't have any questions at the time, so you can keep going.
Excellent, excellent. I'm probably messing everybody up because, you know, it's never my intention. Now, let me give you guys some definitions of some words that you guys need to know. I defined for everybody the term Jew, meaning Judean, and meaning Judas. And I still say the people that are behind this are Judas. And some of those people are what you call African American. Some of those people are what you call Mexican American. Some of them are what you call Arab American. A lot of them are what you call so-called white American or European American. Some of them are what you call Jewish American. But they are amongst us all because they all bought into this trick that was being put down, and everybody is being blamed for it. Okay? We're all being blamed for this infiltration of the vast races of people on the planet by this entity that doesn't want to keep the white race pure. They want to keep the Neanderthal alive, and it is still about screwing anything, eating anything, killing anything in the most cruel ways possible. And they're resurrecting that all under the guise of Satanism, because there are a lot of people that are involved in secret societies and organizations, such as, what do you call this? Such as the Masons. A lot of them have gotten into their head that they are in the process of setting up the world for rebuilding the world for the real God, which is Satan, the devil, Lucifer. Trust me, I've had one tell me this.